John, the other thing I've been thinking about a lot, and we had David Stearns on a couple of weeks ago, and he gave a vote of confidence to Carlos Mendoza, and I saw David over the weekend on Sunday at the ballpark in the dugout before the game, and I asked again, and he reasserted Carlos Mendoza is doing a very good job. Look, I don't think I know you hate when I do this. The Knicks went to the Eastern Conference Final, and we none of us saw Tom Thibodeau, I think, being bounced. And so, like, you never know what begins to happen in mid failure, unexpected failure. And so maybe something will happen with a manager, a pitching coach, a hitting coach, not bringing back Alonso or Edwin Diaz because you feel like you have to change up the. John, I just wonder, few people follow off-season maneuvers like you and have a good feel for it. This is not going to go without a scapegoat or three. What do you think if this week goes terribly for the Mets? What do you think happens here?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there will be scapegoats, but I think they need to change the mix in that clubhouse for sure. I mean, certainly not Edwin Diaz. Let's not touch him. He's got nothing to do with the bad chemistry, and he's the one pitcher who's been good from beginning to end. So you need more relievers, if anything. Um, I would change the mix in that clubhouse. I would consider trading guys. I know maybe some people will disagree. I would probably trade Alvarez. I would probably try to trade McNeil. I would try to trade several players. I would not, I would definitely look at changing the mix in that clubhouse. I'm not picking on any one particular player. Obviously, Lindor is not going anywhere. Soto's not going anywhere. I think Beatty has improved. Nimmo is not going anywhere. There aren't a lot of options to change that mix. I would get a veteran catcher and somebody else. My opinion. Obviously, I give Alvarez credit. He's a tough guy. He's playing with 8 fingers. He's went down, didn't complain, came back, improved. I think he's got great value. That's where I would start. I'm not sure who to blame in terms of the coaches or whatever, but certainly if this collapse goes through, I'd be shocked if they kept the whole staff exactly as is. Now I'm going to take Stearns at his word, and we all think Mendoza is terrific, and I think he'll survive. I generally think if there's a collapse, the manager should go. You need to change the narrative. In this case, he was so great last year. I do believe in him. I would not let him go, my opinion, but I definitely would change the mix in that clubhouse. That's what I would do.
So you're talking about who would go. I'm going to throw out one thing, and again, I'm worried about aggregation, so I want to say I've
Yeah.
heard nothing. I've heard nothing. This is something I've been thinking about recently. And the answer could be with Steve Cohen's money, just take it all. But John, if you were in charge and you were trying to change the mix and the attitude, would you rather have Pete Alonso at first and whatever combination at third, the Vientos Beatty thing, or would you rather have Vientos in first and Alex Bregman at third and bring in Alex Bregman's attitude and feistiness and baseball IQ to this group?
I mean, that's an interesting question. You know, I, and it is possible it could happen. I think Bregman will end up going back to the Red
I
Sox.
agree with you.
I'm
I'm
not
just
sure.
gonna, but
Even though
I'm
he's
trying
only
to
been
think.
there 1 year, and
Yeah,
Alonso's been a lifelong loyal Met,
yeah.
I could say flip a coin on whether Alonso will come back because we've seen that play out for last year, right? And they barely got him back. I mean, at the end, Steve Cohen kind of rescued that. So I could see that one going either way. I do think Bregman will be back with the Red Sox.
So do I.
I wouldn't rule anything out in terms of. I mean, like Diaz, to me, you gotta bring it back. You need the closer, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and obviously, there are guys on long-term deals who are stars. They're not going anywhere. So, I'm not going to say that they need to do this. They need to bring this guy back. And Alonso was on with us. He's had a great year. He's incredibly tough. I don't see him as the problem. He certainly deserves a long-term deal. I think they need to change the mix. However they do it, they need to change the mix. And Certainly, it's not going to be Lindor, Soto, or Nimmo. Um, you know, they need to get better pitching too. That's another. They need to fix the pitching. That's probably a bigger problem. But I'm not going to go on here and say they have to bring Alonso back at this point. Although he's been great this year and he's a great Met and all that, and the fans want him back. There's a lot of good reasons to bring him back. But my number one thing right now, other than fix the pitching, is got to change the mix.
Well, the reason I brought up Bregman is I think there's very few players who do what you're saying anymore in the sport. And I think Bregman is one of those guys who changes the attitude, the temperature in a clubhouse for the positive. I think he's a like it.
Fantastic. I
I,
agree. And he's
I,
perfect. He's perfect for Boston.
I
So
agree. I think
I don't see
Boston
how
will
they
bring
let
him
him leave.
back.
Yeah.
That's why I got up in the
Yeah.
front of this. I know it won't stop the aggregation idiots from doing what they do, but I was just saying, if you're going to change the mix, let's not only talk about who would leave, who's
Right.
somebody who would change the temperature of your clubhouse for the positive.